Hello, Peaceful Millionaires. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to have on a longtime client of mine, Brenda. Brenda has worked with me in various different offers, and I was so excited when she decided to join Million Dollar CEO. And I am really excited to talk about her experience inside the program because she has done so incredible. Brenda, introduce yourself to those who don't know you.
Hi everyone. I'm so excited to be on. I think this is the second time. Yeah, second time with being on the podcast. I
Yes,
think
that's right,
last time
because
was
a million
on.
dollar email. Yep.
Yeah. So thank you for having me again. I am Brenda. I have an operations management agency. I just transitioned about a year and a half ago to an operations management agency. I started as a health coach in the industry, and that's where I began to just do it as a side hustle. And eventually I started loving the tech side of things. And as side side job, I guess, in a way, I reached out to my coach friends and I was like, hey, like, do you want a virtual assistant to help you? Like, I can do this, that, and the other. And that's where I started my virtual assistant journey. And that transitioned over into online business management when I realized that my clients needed a little bit more support in project management, systems, all that kind of stuff. So now I started doing that as a solo OBM. And now I have a full on agency with two team members, which is very exciting. So, yeah.
If only you all knew like how wild it is to hear Brenda say that. Like, I'm an agency owner with two team members. Like, it's just so wild because if you know Brenda, you know that she was very big on like, and we're gonna get into this, but I just am looking at you and I'm just like, I just remember when you were like, I can't imagine having more than two clients. Like, there's no way. Like, I remember that so well. So, can you tell people where you were at when you joined Million Dollar CEO and why you joined the program?
We just completed OBM Academy.
That's right. Yeah.
And OBM Academy, I was in the struggle bus. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But I had a little bit of hope of transitioning into the agency model because we talked about that in OBM Academy, and I was like, okay, maybe this is possible. I see Kirsten talking about it. She mentioned it in OBM Academy. Maybe this is something that I just need extra support on. And the main part of it, to be honest, was the mindset of the possibility of it. Because as you know, we've had private conversations of, I don't know if I can make it happen. Like it felt like everything felt like too much with the amount of clients I had at the time. And it was just more of, and this is where detox helped a lot too. It's just more of not letting myself feel so urgent with client work and like everything is a priority with like everything that they, ask for, that kind of thing. And so I went into Million Dollar CEO because I was like, I needed the support. I needed to see how I could make this transition. As soon as I joined, I actually hired my first assistant. And I was like, in my onboarding form, I was like, I just hired my first assistant. I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I was, in paraphrasing, of course, but I was like, okay, now I have a team and I have to make sure I make this work and I make this transition as smooth as I can and, all that kind of stuff. So it was just me just jumping into the water
Yeah.
without knowing where it would go, but I trusted Kirsten because Kirsten, you had the experience. We worked together also on one of my past clients' business as well. So I know how Kirsten works and I know how she thinks. So I was like, this is just an easy way for me to just make it happen. And let's just see. I had the mentality of like, let's just see what happens. And I trust
Yeah.
myself, knowing that I will take whatever best action is for me. So I was like, okay, I know it's gonna work one way or another. So that's where we're at. And
So
here we
good.
are with year two.
Year two. Oh my goodness, so good. There's so many things I want to like hone in on. The first thing is when you came to me, I remember you had two clients and you couldn't imagine taking on more clients and even having an agency because like you said, I love how you, and like I said, y'all, she's been in multiple offers, Burnout Detox, Million Dollar Email, OBM Academy. I love it. What you said about like you felt so there was so much people pleasing going on with your current clients. There was so much urgency with your current clients, especially as an online business manager. I mean, that's a core role. It's a core role in the business. in my opinion, the most important role in anyone's business. And so I remember you were working so hard for those two clients. You had very customized, like nothing was really standardized. It was really whatever they needed. It was interesting because like the big fear that people have when it comes to starting an agency and everything is that it's going to be more work. And it's interesting because you have worked, like I always tell people, I'm like, you work so much harder when you are only doing two clients than when you have more, because you're actually standardizing the service, systematizing things like that. So I remember that. And I remember specifically our goal was, and this is what people don't talk about, is yeah, you only have two clients. That can be great. Okay. But you didn't like that you relied on those two clients financially either. Do you remember that too? Like, can you explain like that kind of feeling?
Yeah, it was. So at the time, and even now to this day, I'm supporting my husband and I, our little family. He had quit his full-time career to go into real estate. And so I was very much, I was, lack of a better term, like the breadwinner. I didn't realize this, but you pointed this out, Kirsten, that it was that I had the energy of just like people pleasing and everything like that with my clients at the time, because I was afraid of losing that, because I had in the back of my mind that I'm
You
supporting
get
my
the money.
family, and yeah, I needed the money. I couldn't risk the relationship with my clients. And so I was very much in urgency mode. I was completing things quickly, like, and my clients were happy. Obviously there's going to be some moments where, things didn't work out or whatever the case is. But then I realized it was like the reason why is because I wasn't planning ahead. I was always behind or whatever the case is, because of that side of, I was people pleasing and all that kind of stuff. And so it was tough, but I was like, in order for me to make more money and not be stuck in this, I needed to get more support. I needed to get more support,
Mhm.
as a with a coach, with you, but also as a team, and getting my own OBM and getting support in my own business, all that kind of stuff too. So it was tough to get out of that cycle. Not gonna lie, it was so tough, but and I'm still working on it with now my current client roster, but I made a lot of progress mindset
Yeah,
wise on that for sure.
for sure. And I think there's a difference between obviously not wanting to lose any clients. Nobody wants to lose any income versus, oh my goodness, if I were to lose them, I'm donezo. Like I would not be able to pay the bills next month, for example. I think there's such a difference between that. And I think right now, you're now able to be now, if we haven't said it yet, now Brenda's at seven clients, right? Like went from two to seven. And being able to do that now, it's like, of course I don't want to lose a client, I don't want to lose income, I want to be a great OBM, etc., as opposed to, oh my goodness, if I lose one client, half my income is gone. That's such a different energy, right? And I think that's a better place to be. And I remember that being my goal, my first goal with you. I was like, I just want to make it to where you can take on more clients so you don't lose half your income, and you're not scared if you did lose a client or if you did, set a boundary and maybe it didn't work out or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. And now I have that mentality, that mindset of, even if I lose a client, I just can get another one and we'll figure it out. If we had to reduce our amount of money that we have coming into our personal income, that's totally fine. We can find another client. We'll figure out a way. So I feel like I don't have that scarcity, yeah, scarcity
Yeah.
around losing clients. It's like there's more to come. And my role is just making the space on my calendar to sign on more clients, have more,
Yeah.
time for emails, social media, all that kind of stuff, which is something that I'm currently working on right now.
And that's so many OBMs problems. I was going to say, you're one of those OBMs who you got a wait list. You're like, I just got to tap into the wait list. I could get a client. Like, that's not the issue. It's just making sure I can, like, have the systems to take on more. And that's so many OBMs, right? Like, so many. It's such an in demand service that it's really just making it to where you can actually take on clients is going to be the most important thing. What I want to know is you're in this place because I'm sure people are asking themselves, they're like, okay, I'm in a similar place. Like, I only have a few clients. I need the money. What do I look like going and making a hire when I need the profit? Like, how do things feel financially now compared to then, even though now you are paying for team members?
back then when I hired my first team member, of course I had the conversation with my husband. I was like, just for a little bit, we're gonna have a little bit of we're gonna have to like not eat out as much, not like do this like we used to with like the money that we had. And so it was and I love my husband so much because he's just very supportive. He's just like, all right, we'll figure it out. If we need to, do whatever it is, whatever it takes for you to succeed, like he and just to give context on this too, like, and the reason why I got to where I was up until before I joined Million Dollar CEO was because my husband also supported me,
Yeah.
and he supported me financially to be able to get to that point in my business. So I felt like, in a way, like not obligated. Of course, he's my husband, but I wanted to make sure that he felt supported. And so, of course, I communicated with him. That was a little bit of a tough conversation for me because I was like, oh man, like I'm risking it. I'm risking it in my head. My husband was like, you're fine. But now I'm like, I see one, I thank myself, I thank past me for hiring that team member because now I have the systems and now I have the ability to be able to step away for some time or like, without worry of losing income or anything like that. So financially now I'm like, cool. Like I mentioned, if I lose a client, like it's fine, we can just sign on another one. But also like if I take a week or two off, which I have already, my income doesn't dip, my clients are fine, like everything is still working behind the scenes, even if I'm not actively on Slack or whatever.
Which is
So
huge because you were glued to your computer. Like I don't think like people realize like you were glued to your computer and you've since taken multiple vacations. Like it's crazy. I just want to take a second because I'm actually getting emotional just thinking about it. What you just said, Brenda, I don't think you realize how big of a deal it is and how much it shows a CEO mindset saying, you know what I did? I had a conversation with my husband and we reduced our personal spending for a little bit. Because people, and I've said this in other podcasts before, people don't realize, and we talk about it in Million Dollar CEO, like taking a CEO mindset. Like if you were the CEO of LinkedIn, what would be your mindset? And there are so many CEOs that say, you know what, the business needs this. So I'm taking a personal cut here, like for a time. And now, because I did that, I'm able to have 5 more clients, 6 more clients, 7 more clients, however many more clients, like because for a time, I decided to sacrifice here. And that I didn't even know that you did that until now. And I'm just like, well, of course you've gotten the results you did because you really thought like a CEO in that moment and you had that hard conversation. And I always say, like, your partner is a part of your team. Like, that's a team member, right? And so it's great that you have like such a good team member on your side. But like, I love that you were like, I'm going to be real. You know what I did? I reduced my personal spending for a little bit. Like, that's next level CEO mindset that so many people aren't willing to do. And look what you were able to do because of it. Like you were able to more than double your roster because of that. That is huge. I love that. I want everyone to listen to that. Okay. And it's like, it's so simple and it didn't take long. Like I remember one day I was like, "Hey, where are you at?" And you were like, "Oh, I'm at 7." I was like, "I'm sorry, what? Like when? How? Who did you get on your like I was so amazed. So that is so huge. I love that. When it came to starting a team, this is really big for OBM specifically because you're so used to being the team member and being the one that's being delegated to. What was that transition like? And I know you're still like we talked about it in the green room, like you're still in the transition and that's totally fine, totally normal when you have a new agency, but like can you tell us like that transition of stepping into your CEO mindset when you were used to being the team member?
ooh, Kirsten. The last year, I think it didn't actually click until we started talking a lot more recently on coaching calls, but you keep hammering to me to stop doing client work. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yes.
And I don't know what it was about that specific conversation that we've had. I don't know which one in particular, but something about that just made me really be like, okay, like I really need to stop it. I need to stop trying to take over, trying to do that, trying to clean up their mistakes, like my team and everything like that. At first, this was the big learning lesson obstacle that I had to go through with my first team member was having to clean up their mistakes. Um, I one realized that I need to give better, clearer direction, and if that includes like Loom videos,
Yeah.
I was doing Loom videos, but maybe I realized like maybe they weren't as clear, they weren't as direct, or I maybe assumed some things, and so ended up having to correct the team member, and either they didn't do it right still or something happened, and so it was just a lot of learning on, because I never led a team before ever. Was my first time. This is my first time. Like in other jobs I never really led a team, so it was tough for me to learn those leadership skills, but I had to learn how to be more firm with like, we cannot do this, we cannot do this mistake again. Like that was something I really, really implemented with my team, especially this year, like having them take more ownership of their role. It's changed everything for me this year.
Yeah.
It's like night and day. And so going back to that first team member, I ended up spending a lot of time in a way. I was doing like half client work, half not. So it took a lot of trust in letting go of that, especially because she was making a lot of mistakes. So that was difficult for me. But I eventually had to like, I kept letting go a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And even though it wasn't like fully on like with what you're saying that I need to do 100%, like give them
Yeah.
100% of the client work, it was just like a practice for me to just continue giving and being like, okay, what else can I let go of my plate? So it was slow, but now I would say like I do maybe about 10% of the client work, which is like the client meetings, delegating, and maybe if there's like quick 2 second or 2 minute tasks, like that kind of thing. And everything else I just give it off to my team, because I realize now, especially with the amount of clients I have, I can't be doing that for seven
No.
clients. Like it's not
Yeah.
realistic for me, because then I'm spending 12, 15-hour days on the computer. I can't do that anymore. So yeah, this year for sure it was just telling my team like, hey, this is how we're going to do things now moving forward. You are taking ownership of your clients. Like if you don't know something, you need to figure it out, or we need to like set up a system to know what you need to know to support the client, like that kind of thing. And yeah, it's just I've been doing a lot of refining of my leadership skills and communication. I think what holds me back is like saying it the right way. But I've
Yes.
realized one lesson was I need to just do it messy and just see what
Exactly.
happens. And
Mm-hmm.
and that just helped me let go of that perfectionist, like I have to say it right the first time, that kind of thing. And I felt like I had to remind myself that if I just say it, and even if I just say it the wrong way, at least I convey the message
Yeah.
and something's going to come of it, basically. It's been a messy transition, but it's still in progress, but definitely worth setting up the agency for sure.
I'm glad you said that because that's actually what I wanted to double down on when what you just said of like, but it's worth setting up the agency. So many people like don't want to go through like the messy part. And you know what I'm hearing? I'm like, yeah, it's a little messy and you're making way more money than before. So like, okay, let rather have more money and be messy than have less money and be you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, it's there's a transition period. There always is, and you've been able to take multiple vacations since then. You've been able to take on more clients. You've been able to Brenda's one of those people, y'all, that like is hard on herself. So like I'm naming this for her too. Like you've been able to take multiple vacations, take on more clients, and you're making more money. So like, okay, I'll take a little mess for that. You know what I mean? Like sounds worth it. And I like what you said. Like you're like, but it's worth the mess. Like it's worth being in that transition period, and that's okay.
Yeah, and what helps me a lot, and I go back to what you say all the time, that it's always a systems issue. Always that.
Yeah.
I take that to heart every single day, because otherwise I'll take everything. I put my feelings too much in everything, in the team, and I end up mothering my team, which is what I was doing, or I end up doing, mistakes or whatever the case is. If I see a problem now with my team or whatever it is, I'm just like, it's just a systems issue. What do we need to do to fix it? What do we need
Yeah.
to do to solve for it? If a client now complains, I'm like, okay, so what system can I create because of this, or whatever the case is? And that just helps me step out of my emotions, which can cause me to probably make decisions that wouldn't be good for the business. But it just helps me. I do feel more like, okay, I am a CEO of this business. And I feel that my team trusts me more because of that too.
Yeah, and as an OBM, like you're doing your favorite work, which is fixing operations. You know what I mean? Like so many people get worried that they're like, "Oh, but if I'm not in client work, I'm not doing the work I love." I'm like, as an OBM specifically, you are doing way more of the work you love because you are literally leading a team, helping them improve their operations, helping them improve their fish efficiency. Like it's just for your entire business, so it's even better. I love it. I am so proud of you. Can't tell you how proud I am of you. You've done amazing in the program. You have like gone leap years. Like just seeing you become such a CEO, seeing you grow your agency, seeing how much you've like stuck to the process despite the transition. Like I'm just so proud of you. Where can people find you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, so I am at brendacanas.com. So it's Brenda and then CAN as in Nancy AS.com. You can find all information about me and my agency there as well. And I'm on Instagram, Brenda Canas, same altogether with an underscore after.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.